Hello, my students, how are you? Today I will explain for you lesson 1 of English for to civil engineering students at University of Kufa for the study year 2020-2021. With you, your teacher assistant Professor Dr. Hussein Shakir Al-Bahrani. There are 5 subjects in this lecture: parts of speech, types of reading, capital letters, linking ideas and or but, and the last subject is the simple present tense. In English, there are 9 parts of speech. These parts of speech are verb, noun, adjective, determiner, adverb, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. The first part of speech is verb. It is action or state. Example verbs are to be, have, do, like, work, sing, can, and must. Example sentences: English Club is a website. I like English Club. As we see here, there's 2 verbs, is and like. The second part of speech is noun. It is thing or person. Example nouns are pen, dog, work, music, town, London, teacher, and Ahmed. Example sentences: This is my son. He lives in my house. We live in London. There are 3 nouns: son, house, and London. The third part of speech is adjective. Adjective describes a noun. Example adjectives: good, big, red, well, interesting. Example sentences: My dogs are big. I like big dogs. As we see here, the adjective big describes the noun dogs. The fourth part of speech is determiner. Determiner limits or determines a noun. For example, a, an, the, numbers such as 2, 3, and others, some, and many. Example sentences: I have 2 dogs and some rabbits. In this sentence there are 2 determiner, 2 and some. The fifth part of speech is adverb, which describes a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. Example of adverbs are quickly, silently, well, badly, very, and really. Example sentences: My dog eats quickly when it is very hungry. It eats really quickly. As we see here, the adverb quickly describes the verb eats. The adverb very describes the adjective hungry, and the adverb really describes the other adverb quickly. So, adverb describes a verb, an adjective, or an adverb, while the adjective describes a noun only. The other part of speech is pronoun. Pronoun replaces a noun to avoid repetition of the noun. Example words: I, you, he, she, it, they. Example sentences: Jannat is Iraqi. She is beautiful. We use she instead of the female name Jannat to avoid repetition of writing Jannat in the other sentence. Other part of speech is preposition. Preposition links a noun to another words. Examples: to, at, after, on, but, in, and. Example sentence: we went to school on Monday. The eighth part of speech in English is conjunction. It joins clauses or sentences or words, such as and, but, when, however, therefore. Example sentences of conjunction are: I like dogs and I like cats. I like cats and dogs. I like dogs, but I don't like cats. The last part of speech is interjection. It is short exclamation, sometimes inserted into a sentence. Example words of interjection are: oh, ouch, hi, well. Example sentences of interjection: ouch, that hurts. Hi, how are you? Well, I don't know. In English, there are three types of reading. These types are intensive or study reading, skimming reading, and scanning reading. Intensive reading is slow and careful reading. We read intensively to understand everything, such as reading a textbook, an article, or a report. Skimming reading is a quick reading. We use the skimming to get the general idea, such as skimming a newspaper, a report, a book in a bookshelf. Scanning reading is a quick reading too. We use the scanning to get a particular piece of information, such as a date, a phone number, or a name of restaurant. Practice 1. Match situations 1 and 3 with the ways of reading A, C. The first column represents situation and the second column represents ways of reading. Study skimming and scanning. Number 1. Reading a chapter of a physics textbook to understand a topic. This reading is study reading. So number 1 matches with A. Number 2. Looking for a room number on an exam timetable. This operation is scanning. Number 2. Matches with C. Number 3. Choosing an interesting book to read. And this operation is skimming reading. So sentence 3 matches with B. Capital letters. Use capital letters for the first letter of the first word of a sentence. For example, he studies English. As we see, the first letter of the word he is capital. Number 2. People's names. Nora, Ali. Number 3. Titles. For example, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, and Professor. Number 4. Cities and countries, such as Turkey or Tokyo. Number 5. Languages. For example, English, Arabic. Number 6. The names of schools, colleges, and companies. For example, International College, Microsoft, University of Kufa. Linking ideas and or buts. Linking idea makes your writing easier to follow and is an adding linking idea. Ideas are often linked by and. For example, Hassan lives in Izmir. He works in an internet cave. To link these two sentences, we use the adding linking idea and. The sentence becomes Hassan lives in Izmir and he works in an internet cave. In a list, you put a comma between each item, but not before and. For example, I have my breakfast, brush my teeth, dress my suit, and go to my work. The other linking idea is but. It is a contracting linking idea. For example, you understand English. You do not speak it very well. These two sentences are contracting. To link between them, we should use the contracting idea, but the sentence becomes you understand English, but you don't speak it very well. Simple present tense. The simple present, also called present simple or present indefinite, is a verb tense, which is used to show repetition, habit, or generalization. Less commonly, the simple present can be used to talk about scheduled actions in the near future, and in some cases actions happening now. Simple present is used to represent habits as seen in the three following examples. Number one, I always drink coffee at work. Number two, he goes to bed at 11 p.m. Number three, they often eat lunch at school. For future plans and schedules, if the event is certain, it must use simple present tense. For example, number one, the train arrives at 3 p.m. Number two, we fly to Paris on Monday. Number three, classes begins next week. Because these three events are certain, we use simple present tense instead of future tense. We use simple present tense also to represent general facts or truths. For example, number one, the sun rises in the east. Number two, Earth is not flat. Number three, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. We use simple present tense also to present facts and truths or truths. For example, I live in Iraq. Number two, she is 22 years old. Number three, he works at the university. As we see, these three examples are present facts. Simple present forms. The simple present forms for positive sentences is subject plus the main verb. The negative form of the simple present tense is subject plus does or do plus not plus the main verb. And for the question form of the simple present tense, we use does or do plus subject plus the main verb. Using does or do depend on the subject, as we see in this table. Linking the main verb with the s of the third person also depend on the type of the subject. Thank you for listening.